and welcome to Magic Elder. Today I'm just going to do kind of a quick breakdown of the black-white deck that I played in my Steel tournament for pre-release. Played 4 rounds, went 3-1 with it, and I'll do kind of a quick breakdown of each round. First things first, let's go over the cards I chose to play. For lands, I had 2 Evolving Wild. I got a foil and a regular. A Hall of Tagsin, which also has the Powerstone token creation, which was pretty relevant. I had 7 swamps and 7 plains. So that was for the lands. For black, I played Ashnod's Intervention. My thought here was this is just good with a lot of my creatures, but also with the prototype creatures. Those are you who are familiar with Scam and Modern. I was able to kind of do this trick with the prototype creatures. When they would die, I was able to return them. And from the ruling that we had at the tournament, it would return as the bigger creature. I hope that's correct. You guys can let me know in the comments if that's not. But it was pretty cool. I did it one time that way, and it was awesome. And did it with a Steel Seraph, which I'll be showing you here in a little bit. But yeah, that was pretty neat. And it's just a good card in general. So the next card was Carrion Locust. This card was actually pretty good. The 2/1 flyer for 3 always has been good. But exiling a target opponent's card, it was pretty good. There was a lot of unearthed stuff that you could just remove, and I liked it. Diabolic Intent, obviously a stud of a card, was very good, especially because of the amount of removal cards I had. This was awesome. Disfigure, -2/-2 for 1 black instant. Very good in this format. It could be a combat trick. It could just remove stuff. Awesome. Gix's Command, absolute bomb in this limited format. Probably use the Make Them Sack, the highest power among creatures they controlled, and the Return 2 creatures. I use those the most. Every once in a while I did use the 2/1/1 counters though, and then gain lifelink until end of turn. Just a great card. Go for the Throat. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Killing artifacts was extremely important, but this was just another good one for all the ones that they didn't have that were not artifacts. Ovewhelming Remorse, awesome card. Often cast this for maybe 3/2 mana. Even got to do it once for 1. Great card. Exiling a creature or planeswalker is just awesome. Ashnod's Harvester, again, exiling a card from a graveyard, awesome stuff. And then the Unearth, very good card. I highly recommend that one. And I played 2 Goring Warplow. The black and colors for a 1/1 Death Touch is not terrible in sealed. And then obviously, later in the game, getting it for 6 or returning it with Gix's Command. Pretty awesome card overall. Loved it. And then Powerstone Fracture. Again, going back to the land I was talking about earlier, the Hall of Tagsin, making these tokens, these Power Stones. If I needed to just sack one to destroy a creature or planeswalker, that was great. And of course, I had a lot of other artifacts I could do that with too. So that was the black section of my deck. I kind of put the unearthed artifacts in there along with the prototypes with my black spells. Do the same thing here with the white cards. This card was actually amazing. I almost didn't play it, but I said, no, this is limited. You gotta play it. And it was just really, really good. Highly recommend it. Deadly Riposte. Deals 3 damage to a tapped creature, gain 2 life. Very good card. Disenchant. This was an absolute bomb. This is probably one of the best removal cards you could have in the set. And make sure to play it. A couple people were saying that they had it in their sideboard. And I mean, this is definitely the format you play this main, in my opinion. Mass Production. This was kind of a card I was back and forth if I was going to play it. But the 4/1/1 artifact tokens for 6, it was really good. Oftentimes it's blockers, but every once in a while pushed damage through. And it was a great little sack target to one of my removal spells. So, good card. Powerstone Engineer. This guy was pretty good. 2/1 who also gives me a Powerstone token. He was not just complete dud. He wasn't a bear card. He was good. He 2/1 for 2 that when he dies gives you a Powerstone token. I'm very happy with it. And it's interesting about the Power Stones. They come into play tapped, but you don't sacrifice them. And that's just kind of weird. Usually when you get those free mana things, usually they sacrifice. Not with this guy. Very good card. Combat Thresher. This guy was awesome. If you get him, play him. He just was really good. I loved him. Double strike. Just the 1/1 double strike was really good, funny enough. And then, of course, when I did get him back to cast him for 7, that was great. But the crazy thing is he draws a card when he comes into play either way. And, I mean, a 1/1 double strike for 3, drawing you a card also, that's pretty good. So this guy was, I wouldn't call him a bomb, but, man, he was close. This was a bomb. Steel Seraph was absolutely amazing. I got lucky as a pre-release card. This was my promo, and I mean, this thing does it all. You give a creature, flying, vigilance, lifelink, and he's got flying. You can cast him 3 for a 3/3 flyer. Does all that, or 6 for a 5/4. I mean, this is a stud. Should have been Steel Stud, I think. Last but not least, I did play Tocasia's Onulet. Really like this card. The gaining the 2 life was nice, but just having a 4/4 for 5 is not bad with Unearth. Great card. For my multicolored card, I only had one. It wasn't a lot of good multicolored cards really that I saw anyway, but this was this was close to a bomb. Hero of the Dunes, black, white, 3 colorless, 3/2. This thing was just great. When he enters, you return target artifact or creature with mana 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. For 5 mana, 3/2, and then you get to do that. Really decent card. And then creatures you control with mana value 3 or less get +1/+0. I mean, you could take that last part off and it would still be a good card in Limited. But adding that, it was awesome, and I definitely used the heck out of it. Now for my artifacts. I just played a Mine Worker. This guy was pretty good, gaining the 1 life. I didn't have all 3, so I never got to do 3 life. But a 2 for a 2/1 gave me some life, and then sack it to my removal spell or whatever. That was a good card. I liked that card. Then I had the Power Plant Worker. This was a really good card. 4/4 for 5 mana, and then you get to pump them for 3. Again, didn't have all 3, so couldn't do the counter trick, but just pumping 3 into this, you'll notice it's not just once. You can do it until the end of turn. So, I mean, you could do 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, and I know that's a lot of mana, but with the Powerstone, or with the amount of mana you have in a sealed tournament, it's just really good. So, very, very good card here. Reconstructed Thopter. Just a 2/1 for 3. I do like 2/1 for 3 flyers in Limited. I usually will play them. And this has Unearth, so another 2 in the air with haste. Not a bad thing. Very good card. Sorry about this. I did trade this away. Somebody who plays lots of Commander wanted it. This was a Burnished Hart. 3 colorless artifact, 2/2 elk. And then I believe you pay 3 and you could go get 2 basic lands and put them into play tapped. In Limited, this was an absolute stud. If you get one, play it. Doesn't matter what colors you're playing it, just play it. And last but not least, Perilous Vault. How do you not love something like this in sealed? Just absolutely great. Pay 4, then another 5. You would get to exile literally all non-land permanents. And with me having the Gix's Command and some Unearthed guys in my graveyard and stuff, it was just a great card and another form of removal. So highly recommend playing black white if you get a chance. The other cards that were pretty close to making the deck, the number 1 close one actually did make the deck, and I took it out after the first game, never put it back in. Gurgling Anointer. 2 colors, black for a 1/3 flyer. Okay, so I do kind of like that. Whenever you draw your second card, you can put another 1/1. I didn't have a lot of ways to draw a second card, so I never got to abuse that, or wouldn't have been able to. Then the last thing, when it dies, it returns another target creature card with mana value less than or equal to its power. I didn't have a ton of ways to get it bigger either, so I didn't think it was right for my deck, although for sure there's going to be a lot of decks where it was good enough. Thraxodemon. I could have probably played this, but I went with the cards, obviously, that I had. I'm not sure. This one could have been maybe the draw, putting these together. Maybe that would have been the way to go. But that's not the route I wanted. This card here, target creature gets 2/1 and gains lifelink until the end of turn, and draw a card. Possible I should have played it. Decided not to. And I'm curious what you guys think, if you would have played that or not. Lauren's Escape, another, tricksy card. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, scry 1. Again, I could have played that. My thoughts were, guys, is I wanted to use the removal that I had. I loved it so much. I think I had 7 pieces of removal overall. And I wanted that instead of the combat tricks. If I didn't have so much of it, I probably would have done the combat tricks. And then last but not least, the Thrawn Power Suit. I did not elect to use it. I just, maybe I should have. Maybe protecting my guys would have been good. But I didn't. Didn't feel like I had an aggressive enough deck to use it. Although, that doesn't mean it's not, the right card. I don't know. It could have been good enough, but I didn't use that. So round 1, I played against a green-red, big fatties deck. I won game 1, and then I unfortunately lost game 2 and 3 to Skitterbeam. Skitterbeam was really, really good, and I just couldn't overcome it, and it beat me. And funny enough, he top decked both times, and I mean, he was pretty excited. I don't blame him. I think he fist pumped on me and stuff. And it was awesome. It was a fun game, back and forth. Round 2, I played against a rug deck, and that was another fatty deck, big creatures, but he was playing the Fogs. He did have one thing going that I thought was really interesting. He played Alloy Animist, and, it was funny because Alloy Animist he also played Slagstone Refinery, and it created a bunch of Power Stones. And I just thought, well, I don't know if that card's good enough or not. But Alloy Animist with it, there was a turn where I almost lost out of nowhere because of it. And I would check that out if you get a chance. Alloy Animist and, the Slagstone Refinery were very good combination cards. But I did beat him 2-0. Round 3, I went Grixis, and that was control versus Mishra's. It was a Grixis control deck, and he did have the Mishra Bomb Planeswalker, and it was very good. He was playing Depth Charge Colossuses and, kind of a slow lumbering deck with lots of removal, and a very good deck, and I beat him 2-1. And in the final round, round 4, I played Rug Control against Rug Control, and he was kind of doing an Iron Claw or Iron Crawl Crusher, Shot Down, Raise to Ground, and Precursor Golems. So his deck was very good, and honestly, I think of all the guys, I felt almost bad. I think there was a game where I played every single removal. Literally every turn I played one each turn over and over and over. He kept coming back with his creatures, and I kept killing them, and the frustration mounted quite heavily for him. And I know you're looking at a blank screen here, so sorry about that, but I don't know how else really to do it. Maybe just show you off the Seraph and the Perilous Vault, Grix Command, and Diabolic Intent. But so last but not least, I just want to go over some cards. Simian Simulacrum in green, Blanchwood Armor, Blanchwood Prowler. Those are all pretty decent green cards. If you're into that, you should go for those. Are pretty good cards. I'd go with those. In blue, Depth Charge Colossus, Spotter Thopter, and Urza's Rebirth were pretty good for my opponents. Artifacts, Stasis Coffin and Coastal Bulwark were very good. And red had Scrapwork Mutt and Rock Hunter. I would recommend playing those cards, or at least trying them out for yourself. And as far as the great cards I played against, red was Razed to the Ground, Tyrant of Kerr Ridges, Skitterbeam Battalion. Those cards were amazing. Artifacts were Thrawn Power Suit and Slagstone Refinery. Slagstone Refinery, again, very good for artifact Power Stones. And those were the two I was really impressed with that my opponents played. And in green, Alloy Animist, again, with Slagstone Refinery. Very cool combo there. Iron Craw Crusher, obviously very good. Perennial Behemoth and Shot Down, very good cards. And last but not least, the multicolored card award goes to Mishra. That was a sick card. But I was able to overcome it with my removal for Planeswalkers. So anyway, that is my sealed tournament. I went 3-1. You can check out the other couple videos. I did open a bunch of stuff, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done and watching. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not very high tech. I hope to get into all that stuff. But I do appreciate you watching and following and listening. And I will put all this in the description too. So if you want to kind of look at the cards and maybe look them up, feel free to do so. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening and have a great week. Take care, guys. Bye. Bye.